Hey, what's up guys? We're FutureFit here with a nutrition cooking video. Today, we're tackling the big dog, Chick Fil A. Now, whether it's Sunday and Chick Fil A's closed, but you still want a chicken sandwich to eat, or you're looking for a more healthier option, I think our recipe's got you covered. All right guys, so we just went to Chick Fil A and we picked up the classic chicken sandwich. Pretty unhealthy if you ask me. We're gonna change this up, make our own healthier version, and we're actually gonna save the unboxing of this for a little later after we get our own version done. But Connor, why don't you come out here and give us some of the ingredients?
Yeah, here's just some basic ingredients you picked up at the store for pretty cheap. We're gonna spice it up a little bit with some seasoning and just some things you might have at home.
Coming at you. All right guys, we're back. We're gonna start first with the veg. We're gonna get the dill pickle in here. These babies are whole, so we're gonna have to cut them up. So now if you didn't know how to hold a knife, I'm about to teach you how to properly do it right now. You're gonna wanna, most people, they tend to grip a knife like this. That's bad. Don't do that. You want to grip it like this. You see with the thumb slightly on the blade? All good. We're going to take a pickle here. Just any old one. This stem, we're going to cut that off first. Maybe set that to the side. I don't know. This really depends on how you like it, but we're going to get our slices somewhat thick here. I'm gonna finish this up. You can see, pretty thick. I want to finish this up and we'll be right back. Okay guys, we're back. We got all the pickles cut up. As you can see, we got a lot of them. That's okay, we're gonna save them. Maybe we'll snack on some after we're done with our food, you know. It's good to have a little snack every once in a while. So we're actually just gonna deposit these into a bowl and we're gonna set them aside for just a few minutes until we're ready to assemble our chicken sandwich. All right guys, so first up, we are gonna be using light mayo because when you think about mayonnaise, it's got a lot of fat, it's got a lot of calories per tablespoon. The thing about light mayo, I don't know if you can see, it's got about 55 less calories per tablespoon and about 7 grams of fat less per tablespoon. So that's why we're gonna be going with light mayo today. And the beauty about cooking is that you can kind of just eyeball it with sauce especially, because you're gonna put as much sauce as you want there anyways. But because we're only making one sandwich today, this is about how much mayo I put in. You don't want an excess because, you know, who wants to cook and have a bunch of sauce left over? Next, we're going to be using Sriracha. Pretty standard. You can find this, I'm sure almost every household has it. If not, most grocery stores would have it as well. So again, we're going to add a pretty good amount. It is spicy, so depending on what level of spice you want, we'll add that much to start. And maybe if we want it a little spicier, we can add some more. Next, what sauce or what anything really is good without garlic. So we're gonna be adding some minced garlic here. Make sure you get it in there. Whether you like garlic or not, it's great, and you need to accept that. All right, so we are gonna start whisking, and yeah, here we go. All right guys, now that we're done with this, you can just store this in your fridge until we are ready to assemble the final product.
All right, so now we're gonna be preparing the chicken breast for this sandwich. We picked this one up at the store for pretty cheap. It's actually just 2 chicken breasts. It's about 1 pound, a little bit over 1 pound of chicken. So basically with chicken, and especially chicken breast, since it dries out a lot when you cook it, you're gonna wanna pound it so it's more tender as you cook it. I'm just gonna cut this open. So here's what we're working with. Just 2 nice chicken breasts. One's a little smaller than the other. All right, so you guys gotta make sure to wash your hands between touching chicken breast and preparing the rest of your items. You don't want any cross-contamination, especially with the board too. You're also gonna wash that with soap before you move on to any other things, just so you don't get any sicknesses like salmonella. So basically with pounding chicken, you're gonna need 2 things. So you're gonna need a mallet first, just a standard mallet you can find at any home goods store. And then you're also going to want some plastic wrap because you don't want to have directly smacking your chicken with just bare metal, just because you don't want any to flake off and to get in the chicken and to contaminate it. So we're just going to get a good piece right now of plastic wrap. You don't need that much. Yeah, this is kind of pretty horrible. So now that it's down, your chicken breast is on this plate. You can pretty much just immediately get to smacking away. don't pound too hard. You just want to pound to the point where it's nice, flat, a little less firm on the chicken. Because if you pound too hard, you're actually going to destroy the muscle fiber, and it's just going to be completely mush pretty much. So just give it a light pounding until you feel that the muscle fibers are a little loose. All right, so here it is, lightly pounded out. Could honestly use a little more pounding right here, which will just do a little bit. But essentially, this piece was a lot thinner, so you didn't need a lot less pounding. But this piece was a lot thicker, so you need to pound a little more right here where it's stiffer. But basically, if you look right here, now that it's done pounded, and since we actually also had the plastic wrap on top, there's going to be no scoring on the meat, and it's going to be nice and uniform underneath and nice and tender. So now we're going to get ready to prep the chicken for putting in the air fryer, and yeah. All right, so as you can see, we actually have only one chicken breast here for now because we're only making one sandwich. But if you guys do want to alter this recipe, you can change up the portion sizes a little more to better suit your needs. So basically, this chicken breast is a little bit large on the larger side for the sandwich. So we're just going to cut it in half, and then we're going to seam it up. So again, like Evan said earlier with the hand, in terms of holding a knife, it's like this. Don't hold it like this because you don't get any force. Basically, we're just going to cut across like here. Get a nice even cut. And so, now it's evenly cut into two pieces. We're just going to get this nice and seasoned up. Evan's got the salt over here.
Salt check.
So, we're actually going to be seasoning both the chicken plus the actual flour, because a benefit of this is actually you don't want to under-season it, because oftentimes when you put in flour, it gets pretty under-seasoned. And so by doing this, you get a little more salt, and also it just penetrates the meat a little bit better. And so now that we got that salted, we're just going to move on to the next step of actually preparing our dredge and our flour mixture for frying. All right, so now we're going to be preparing the dredge and the batter. We did a couple things off camera just because it's pretty simple. We had some eggs. We beat 2 eggs into a bowl. We also added some Frank's Red Hot sauce. This is optional. It just adds a little bit of flavor and a little bit of heat. We also have some cornflakes we picked up at the store. You guys can just crush this down just for some batter. And now we're actually going to prepare the flour, because this is super important for actually getting an even coat on your chicken. So here we have some all-purpose flour. We're just going to spoon some out onto the plate. You don't need a whole lot, so just probably around, not this much, so around a little overfilled 3 tablespoons should be good. Alrighty. Alright, next thing, got some garlic powder, just to give some flavor in there. You don't need to over season, and with seasoning, really, you just want to keep it simple. It's better to keep it simple than to go crazy with all your seasonings. Just add some garlic powder. Next thing, got some onion powder. Don't need to do too much. All right. Last thing, this is optional. Cayenne red pepper adds a little bit of heat without actually having to add a lot of it. You don't have to add too much, but depending on how much you would like in terms of spiciness, that should be just enough. Finally, keep it simple, add some salt. This is just basic kosher salt, so we're gonna add around just a little 1.5 spoons of this. Alrighty, now that we got that done, we're just gonna evenly mix this up. Just get all the seasonings in there, just so your chicken's nice and seasoned. All right, so now we're ready to dredge, ready to batter for the frying process. So with dredging and battering, here's a quick tip. You want to keep one hand dry and one hand wet, because if you start mixing all this, you're gonna get a bunch of batter on your hands. It's gonna be all disgusting, and no one likes that. Okay, so for the purpose of this one, I'm gonna use my left hand as my dry hand and my right hand as my wet hand. So the process of battering goes: you're gonna put it in your egg mixture, put it in your flour, put it back in your egg mixture, and then put it into your final cornflakes. So, grab our first piece. Get this all coated in the egg. Okay, it's all coated in the egg. Put in our flour. Just get lightly floured with this. Okay, all floured right there. Put it back into your dredge right here, your egg dredge. Okay. Now that's done. Take it right here onto your cornflakes.
You can just cut to this.
Probably gonna need a little more, but for now. All right, so off camera, we actually added a little more cornflakes because we were noticing that there was enough coverage. You wanna make sure it's not really like bald or anything. So every spot's covered with cornflakes. Just do another lift, make sure it's nice and coated on this side. Smells pretty good, actually. All right. Now it's nice and coated. You're gonna take your piece of chicken, just lay it on your plate, and then get ready for cooking.
All right, guys, the star of the show today is going to be the air fryer. That's what we're going to be using to cook up our chicken breast. Now, of course, if you don't have an air fryer, that's all right. You can use an oven, really whatever you have at your disposal. But the idea is that frying foods really just makes it a lot fattier, a lot less healthy because of the oils that you use. So we're going to be going with the air fryer because it gives it such a nice crisp, and that's really what we're looking for. That's what you miss in a Chick Fil A sandwich, and that's what we're going to get here. All right, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to actually olive oil this up a little bit. Just hit it with a little bit of spray so that it doesn't dry out while it's in the air fryer. So we're going to cut. We're going to cut. We're going to cut that out. We're actually going to cut it. No, cut it. We're cutting that. No, we're not. Bro, no.
No, you leave it on there. You have to shake it up and spray it.
I just don't want to get it congealed. I thought I shook it.
Shake it more.
Is it still rolling? All right, guys, so we discovered we didn't actually have a lot of that olive oil spray on us, so we are switching, we're pivoting to some canola oil spray. Again, stuff that you could find in your house. If you don't have one thing, you typically can replace it with something that is comparable. So we're just gonna hit this chicken with just a little bit, just a tad. We're gonna then flip it over. And do the same thing. All right, we're gonna get this air fryer all set up and we're gonna be back. All right, guys, so we've gone ahead. We've put the chicken in the air fryer there, as you can see. And last thing left to do is to cook. So we're gonna put this in and we're going to set it at 380 for about 15 to 20 minutes. We're gonna shoot for about 17 and see how it is. All right, we'll be back when it's all finished. All right, guys, so we have pulled the chicken out. It's been about 15 minutes, and again, at 380 degrees. As you can see there, woo, it's looking pretty nice. So we're gonna go ahead and set this on. We've already put some sauce and the pickles onto our sandwich, and all that's left is to place the chicken on, and you know what they say, crown your king. All right, there we go. That is our finished product right there. We're gonna get into the cross section in just a minute, but first we wanna compare that to the Chick Fil A sandwich. As you can see, really, ours stacks up a little bit nicer. It's got more height to it. I'd say it looks a little better, looks less greasy. I'm sure it's going to be crispier too. One last thing is to get that cross section going. All right, guys, so first we're going to cut into the Chick Fil A chicken sandwich. We're just going to go right down the middle there, and just going to see, honestly, looks a little sad, to be honest with you. I'm sure it tastes fine, but you know, really, this is what you're putting in your body? Not good. All right, next we're gonna move on here to ours, to the king of chicken sandwiches. You can already hear the crisp, to be honest with you. And we're just gonna see how much better that looks. Juicier by the looks of it. And you see the steam, you see the steam, you see the money. Basically, that's how it goes. You see the sauce on there. I think we're just gonna give this a try. All right, guys, so all in all, you saw our sandwich. You saw Chick Fil A sandwich. which one do you think is really what you should be putting in your body? I'd say ours. I think it tasted better. Obviously, it has better ingredients. And when you make something yourself, there's just that love that goes into it that you can't get from Chick Fil A. All right, so we'll see you next time when we tackle another dish. Catch you later, FutureFit.